This is episode 9 with Keeping Motivation and Inspiration with special guest fitness professional Brian Kalakay. Welcome to the JAMODI Podcast. My name is Turner Cavender, former professional athlete and action sport enthusiast with a passion to spread inspiration and positivity. Each week we deliver you an inspiring message to help you put your life in forward motion to achieve your ultimate goals. Now let's get this show started because it's just a matter of doing it. Welcome to the JAMODI Podcast, everybody. This is episode 9. Today we are with my friend Brian. He is from Michigan. How about you tell us who you are, where are you from, and then we're going to get right into the topic, all right? So who the hell are you, bro?
I'm some short dude on a screen, apparently. But you can't tell how short I am on a screen, you know what I mean? Because I purposely sit closer to the top of my computer so people think I'm tall.
Oh, yeah. That's a good trickery.
See, it is. It's an illusion. No, my name is Brian Kalakay. I run 3 fit body boot camps in Michigan, and I love Michigan. It's actually the place to be right now. It's fall. It's beautiful. But, no, I actually, we'll get on the journey here in a little bit, but crazy journey to get here, but I ended up doing this fitness thing, and we love it. We've helped our local communities lose over 20,000 pounds of fat in the past 2 years. We have... I don't even know how many hundreds of members between the 3 facilities, but they're all a bunch of badasses. We call them fit body warriors. They're pretty awesome. So pretty lucky to have them in my life, and I got a great team to help me run it. So
how old are you? So, I want to ask people how old you are because it's very important to kind of, when the viewers are listening or if they're watching on YouTube or wherever they are, I want to know how they can relate to you. Because, you are a badass, but how old are you?
I look like I'm 16 on a good day. On a good day, especially when I shave, sometimes I can pull off 12. Yeah, no, I'm actually, at the time this podcast is being made, I'm 29.
29
so I'm
years
almost
old.
30. Almost 30. Still a young gun. Still
looking
got 2
young.
In front of the number. So I'm
looking young and feeling young, right?
Yeah, I know. My wife's Korean too, so that's like she quit aging at like 12.
Yeah, I know.
So,
that's not fair, but so you have a wife, you're married, and you have a newly born.
Yeah, I have a newborn baby girl. She was she was born, I think she's almost 3 months old. So she's fresh out the oven, man. She's honest to God, kids scare the hell out of me, man. Because I taught karate for probably 6 years before I did this fitness thing. And it was the best form of birth control one could ever ask for. People would take their totally undisciplined kids and drag them in and they're like, fix them. And I'm like, I see them 2 hours a week. I'm not sure what you want me to do here. Maybe you should start punishing your kid or something. I don't know, but
it's like they think you're gonna beat some sense into them.
They're like, here's an extra 20. Roundhouse kick my kid in sparring class tonight. They were terrible. Not all. There were some kids that were good, but I'm telling you, dude, it was the best birth control. I didn't think I was ever having kids. And then I ended up marrying my best friend of, at the time, 15 years. And then woke up and got the memo that, hey, we're having a baby. So so I was a little scared going into it, but now that she's here, dude, she's so much freaking fun. So I couldn't imagine life without her. It's good. It's a little bit of extra work, but it's not as bad as people make it sound like. So
yeah. Well, so obviously we now know that you're an amazing dad, an amazing business owner, and I picked you because you are definitely good at motivating. I met you in my early entrepreneur days. And I kind of want to know, how you got started, in your journey. We know who you are, but how'd you get to where you are today? You own 3 gyms, right?
Yeah, I own 3
online businesses. I've seen some ventures of yours. You have a family. You're busy. What is the journey you took to get where you're at right now?
It was kind of I don't know, man. I was like a Renaissance man for a little bit. I didn't know what the hell I wanted in life. I just had a bunch of, not like Rain Man, Renaissance man. I'm not that smart, man. But I don't know, man. I had this weird journey. I was a kid. It's funny, ironically, I don't know. Do I have it in here? I think I do. Can they see the video?
Yeah.
Can they see the video? Okay, hold on. I'll show you something. I have pants on.
So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see Brian going over to this bookshelf that he has over here to get something he has. He always has something, some kind of trickery.
We're in the man cave office right now.
Yeah.
This right here, I don't think I've actually ever showed anybody this. This is the first time
my
wife's ever seen this. This is a menu from when I ran a make-believe restaurant in my grandparents' house. It was my first business I ever ran when I was like probably 6 years old, 7 years old.
Wow.
And yeah, man. Apparently bacon was $500, so I knew how to sell back then.
Bacon? $500?
Some
Damn.
bacon, baby. But no, so like I've always like had this bug about me to like own businesses and to like make an impact instead of just going along with the flow. I was always the kid that questioned why, which sucked for my professors because I was always like the kid, like they do something like, why when you can do this? They didn't like me so much. But the thing is, I've always done things differently. So when I had hobbies as a kid or a teenager, right, I would find ways to make money doing those hobbies. So like I'm a full 100% nerd. I used to be a magician, man. And I used to do walk around magic. I was like 15 years old, 16 years old, like 14. I think I started when I was 14, actually. Like officially going around and like table hopping and doing kids' birthday parties and stuff. My mom would drive me to like birthday parties, and I would do like magic shows, and I would do like walk around magic at restaurants and stuff. You were that guy. And, like weird, you know what I mean? So that was like a job, and then I did martial arts since I was like, what was I, like 12-ish? No, like 9-ish. And week before my 9th birthday, I think, 10th birthday, somewhere in there, I started martial arts. And so then I found out, how to teach. I started teaching martial arts to make money. So I took my hobby, made money from that. Yeah. And then I ended up moving to Los Angeles, California, and I had an internship doing special effects makeup. One of my friends is a shop manager, and so then I ended up coming home and starting a business where we painted faces and did special effects.
That's why you like Halloween so much.
Oh my god, I love Halloween, man. We do a massive Halloween party every 2 years here. It's so much fun.
That's why. That's
how I learned, man. And my friend he's a great teacher, super patient, and good dude. He's still working his ass off out there. He actually owns his own shop now. So okay. But yeah, so it's kind of been all over, and then I ended up coming home, and then I didn't want to – I mean, I taught karate kind of, but I was kind of getting burned out of it. I got tired of being an underpaid babysitter, so I ended up I just ended up doing, like, kickboxing classes at the local gym I worked out at, and that kind of escalated into personal training, and then everything that you see today is, like, more or less a huge offshoot of that, right? Okay. So a lot of risk, but reward was great, so.
That's awesome. So that's quite of a journey you went through owning a business at 6 years old in the basement to it all started from
owning businesses in real life. Yeah.
$500 bacon. That's amazing.
Dude, you don't even know. It's some good shit.
Yeah. All right. So tell me your why and what you do. So you did all this stuff, but you got to have a reason why, and that kind of ties in with the topic we have today. Is having a strong why. So what is your why to get where you are today and what you do?
Honestly, my why is, it sounds kind of bad, but full transparency, dude. I was always the like little kid who got beat up growing up as a kid, and I didn't have very many friends. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted people to like me all the time. And even though I got older and obviously became more extroverted, did martial arts. And funny, when you learn martial arts, you don't actually end up using it anymore because it just gives you confidence, and people don't pick on confident people. But it was just one of those things where I just had this need from very early to just make people happy, to deliver them happiness, whatever way that may be, whether it's through fitness or martial arts or business or whatever. I just wanted to make people happy. And so my why is I thoroughly enjoy delivering happiness to people, man. It's the best feeling in the whole world. It's the best high ever when you can go in and say, my team and I are responsible for, giving people their lives back, from stopping them from committing suicide, from, strengthening the relationship with their spouse, whatever it may be, whatever their why was that they walked in. That's my why, dude. I freaking love helping people. And I think it's this, if a psychologist evaluated me, they'd just be like, well, you're a kid that got beat up when little, you needed people's approval, so that's why you do what you do now. And they're probably right. But I enjoy it. I think it's the greatest thing you can do is to give back and help people achieve what they need to set out, what they set out to achieve. So that's my why. And
there's a lot of self-reward in what you do.
Yes.
To give to feed your why.
It's a very selfish why.
My
why is because
it's actually a little combination of selfless and selfish, because you're giving to someone else to receive. So you're giving a lot, but they don't know that you're receiving by giving.
It's the best. It's like you get to be selfish and no one judges you because you're giving out at the same time.
It's a hidden
just like,
selfish.
hey, I'll give you happiness. They're like, hey, it's cool, man. But no, my wife, my wife and family are definitely like a why, right? My wife and baby girl, like that's why I have to pay bills.
Yeah.
But in terms of like, why do I keep going down this entrepreneur path of fitness or whatever else I have my hands into at this moment? It's because I genuinely just love helping people solve problems so they can be happy.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and dive in and ask the question. The topic is today is how do you keep people motivated and inspired to reach the goal that they ultimately want? So obviously I picked you for a reason. There's a reason why, and I want to know the steps that you take to motivate and inspire the people that are around you, family, friends, or the clients at your gym, your members and such, people that are around you. How do you motivate and inspire to reach their goal?
I think you just genuinely have to be more excited about whatever it is you're doing with them than they are. I think it's what I call like polarization, right? Like people are polarized by somebody who's just very focused on one thing, very excited about that one thing, and they believe in other people more than they believe in themselves, right? So like I believe in my team more than I believe in myself, truthfully. They're incredible ladies and gentlemen that help me run all of our facilities. I'm just a one man without them, right? They help me build this empire that gives results, and they're a bunch of badasses. Our members, they're getting results because of my team. So, truthfully, at the end of the day, I really think it comes down to just being excited about the people around you when they show up, when they're around you. You're excited that they're there because they're giving you their time, right?
Yeah.
They're giving you their attention, and like Gary Vee says, when information's free, attention's very expensive, right? So like I get excited when somebody just like watches one of my podcasts or like just reads one of my blog posts or just stops in to see how things are. Like they're giving you their time. You should be super pumped about that. And if you're super excited about that, they're going to be super excited about you because you're excited about them, right?
Okay.
And I feel like people really undervalue time. I feel like that's a really big key in like motivating people is like being excited that they're giving you the time to motivate them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's like when you walk in from a long day of work and your dog is like the most excited person in the entire world to see you, right? And you love that dog for it. No matter what, you're just always motivated and excited to see your dog and play with the dog every time. Yeah. Right? It's because he's excited to see you. He genuinely loves you. He cares about you. So at the end of the day, I think if you just want to motivate people, I think it's just going to come down to out-caring the other people in their lives in terms of that one area of focus. So my job is to out-care everyone else in their lives about fitness or whatever it is, right? And I think that's really the key to success is just out-caring and really being excited about what you're doing, right? Being excited for them and the journey they're on.
So the main point of it is that you give accountability to these people that for their journey and so you give accountability to the people that are around you, your staff members, the members, the clients. What would be one person what would they do? What would take the step for them to get motivated themselves when you're not around to give them accountability? Or one of my clients that come in here, like I'm not around, like in their face, give them accountability. Obviously, there's email, text, all kinds of social media. But what is the one thing that you would give a step for them to be motivated and carry their inspiration?
It's exactly what you asked me. They have to have a why. They have to have a why, but it has to be a why that gets them out of bed at 4 a.m, that gives them anxiety when they don't take action toward it, right? It can't be a why like, oh yeah, I want to make more money. Well, great, I want to be 6 foot tall. It's probably not going to happen tomorrow. So what really fires you up? I mean, money is great, but what would give you a sense of like just achievement that no money could buy, right? For me, my little girl is a big motivator right now for me. Obviously, she's my kid. For a lot of people, kids are a great motivator.
Yeah, family and stuff like that. Yeah.
Dad, yeah. I want to be a dad that plays with my girl, that plays outside, plays sports. I want to be the hot dad, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want all of her friends to be like, dude, your dad's hot, Olivia. And I'm just like, yeah, because I earned that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my why, right? I want my daughter to see me living the life. Like, if I want her to read books, I should probably be reading books every day because they imitate what you do, right?
Yeah.
So my why of getting my shit together and kind of really focusing on the path I'm on really comes down to I want to set an example for my kids so they can grow up with an advantage over what I grew up with, in a better environment. So really a huge why for me is my family. And I think a lot of people, that's really what they need. They need that why, that emotional why, not a resourceful why, an emotional why. As cliche as it is, you hear it over and over, yet people don't freaking do it, right?
Yeah.
You always tell people, get your why. Whoa, blah, blah, blah. They think it's some like...
Well, they don't go through the stages of asking the why question. So you need to ask the why question, right? Answer it. Exactly. So 5 times. So it's like you need to do it after you answer each one of them. And by the time you probably get to the 5th one, you can't really go any further.
I know. But that's what I mean. That it's Toyota, when they developed that whole concept of the 5 whys, like they were onto something, man. Like they do this with all their employees. You should probably try it. I mean, and it's worth the exercise. And even if just watch this podcast, listen to it right now, just pause it, take 15, 20 seconds, humor me. Stop getting fed up with people talking about a why and like do something about it right now and ask yourself why you're doing something.
There's a reason why people are actually talking about it and getting pissed off because you don't understand it until you do it.
Because it works, but people don't want to take the 20 seconds to freaking do it, and then they want people to feel bad about why stuff's not getting done. Yeah, You're responsible for everything in your life, good or bad, man.
All right, so what would be the first step? Would that be your first step to get to the goal? That was my next question. That first step is do the why game, the 5 questions?
Why game first, and then I think what's really, really important is after that, you need to ask yourself, what do I want my life to be like in 5 years? Okay. Why? How does this why tie into this? What do I want my life to look like in 5 years? How does it relate to that why? And then after that, I personally, because I'm an analytics type person, if you know that, what I do is I sit down and I got something from one of my coaches, Craig Ballantyne. He uses it with some of his perfect day coaching people. He does his worksheet and he takes a piece of paper and divides it into 4 sections, and he writes family, social life, resources, and time. Because those are the 4 areas of life that people always have obstacles that come up that prevent them from achieving a goal, right? So resources being money is usually the biggest. Time, we know, is just priorities, but really there's something that's cramping your time that's going to prevent you from doing something. Social life. In fitness, the biggest social life is usually people love to drink on weekends, right? Yeah. Which is not necessarily good if you're trying to get a 6-pack. Yeah. And then, of course,
not
family.
Not a 6-pack of beer, right? You want a 6-pack of abs.
6-pack's in the back of the fridge. Keep people from stealing this shit. But really, and then family is the other one, right? Sometimes it's unsupportive spouses or people who are around them that just don't support them, whatever it may be. But find your obstacles in those 4 areas and then find 2 ways to overcome those obstacles for each obstacle. So 2 solutions to each obstacle, right? So a lot of info because I talk super fast because I'm not from the South. And and so recap, start with your why, make your 5-year plan. Write out your 4 obstacles in those areas and then find your ways to get around those obstacles. And I promise you, if you took those 3 steps, you're going to get momentum to get moving. It's the same stuff we do with our clients. We do the same stuff.
Yep. I love it, man. That's a great step for people to actually take with them from this podcast right now and apply it to your life. That's one of the biggest things is actually taking information that you learn from either a book, a podcast, some kind of visual like YouTube show and applying it to your life. Like that's the most important thing. That's number 1 action. So out of all these things, take this stuff you're learning right now, guys, and freaking apply it to your life because it's so important. Brian is so right. I learned the same thing.
And take $500 bacon too. Apply $500 bacon.
So if you were watching this, you could see that he just showed up his wood plank of menu that he had when he was a 6 years old, right?
Hey, I did free coffee at least. There's free coffee on there.
Give and take, you know.
Dude, that's really smart because you get them in with the free coffee and then they buy your $500 bacon.
Because you're so cute. That's why.
It's genius.
So let's leave it off with the last question that I love to ask everybody on my podcast. And the last question is, you know, since this is JAMODI Podcast, you've been around me, so you know what it is. You've heard me say it. It's tattooed on me. The JAMODI, just a matter of doing it. It was a quote that my mother gave me when I was a child, and I lived my whole life by it. What does it mean to you, and how could you apply it to your own personal life?
The first time I heard it was like Tonto Jamodi. Jamodi. Like jump on it. You know what I mean? Like that. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what I was thinking about first time I heard it. It was like, get it, Turner. And then you didn't do the dance. And I'm like, shit, I was way wrong on that.
Way off.
I'm glad I didn't start doing the dance. You know what I mean? Like it was going to be bad. But no, it's just a matter of doing it. It sums it up, man. Like so many people talk, but no one does. And that's really what separates the successful people from not successful people is focus. They're focused on doing one thing a day that's moving them closer to where they need to be. And for me, what it means to me in my life is that it means baby steps. It means 1% each day is what that means for me. You need to do something that makes you 1% better each day. 1% doesn't sound like a lot.
Yeah.
But over the course of a year, that's 365% better than you were the year before.
Okay.
That shit adds up. So I always tell people, if I would say, how does that relate to my life? That would be it. It's just a matter of doing that 1% better each day than you were the day before. And I promise you, it's like watching a kid grow up. Like, you slowly notice the changes, but you bring your kid to people every 4 weeks, like, oh my God, they keep getting married, right? Everyone notices big changes because they're not, like, living through it. But that slow 1% doesn't feel like much.
Yeah.
But you guarantee you bump into somebody a year from now or look back at where you were a year from now. If you do that 1% each day, you're like, holy crap, I have changed so much.
That's probably why people say consistency always wins, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Perseverance and focus. That's
Keep
it.
going.
It's not magic ingredients, man. Like, everybody's waiting for, like, this, how do I get $1 million tomorrow? I'm like, I don't know, go make money. Like, just a better bit of doing it. You know
start
what I mean?
somewhere.
Like,
So, Brian, thank you so much for coming on with us. But I want to make sure people know where they can find you if they want to get a, look at your silly face or see what you're going on. Where could they find you?
I mean, I'm definitely on Facebook. Not that I'm ever on it, but I have one.
Uh-huh.
I'm never on Facebook. I check in with my groups on my gyms, and that's about it. But truthfully, one of the better ways to get a hold of me, you can go to briankalakay.com or you can go to michiganfitbody.com. That's like my Fit Body Boot Camps blog. They always have ways to get a hold of me on that blog, so you guys can check it out there as well.
All right, man. Thank you so much for stepping on with me today. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Let's do some knuckles right here. Boom.
Side of the screen.
Yeah. All right, man. I'll see you later.